Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our March 2021 virtual Paducah Chamber Power and Partnership Breakfast. Minus the 350 people that normally would be in the room with us, it kind of feels like old times because our speaker is actually here today with us in Paducah, spent the night here last night. And we're so happy to have Matt Tackett, who's our speaker, and he's going to share a lot of information today about resources for small businesses in our community and also about economic development. So we're missing everyone else, but we're proud to have him here in Paducah. We are broadcasting live from our Commerce Center in the Paducah Bank Community Room. We want to thank Lundberg Medical Imaging for being our sponsor for our March breakfast. They've been with us for several years, and we're so appreciative for the continued support, even though we're in a virtual format, of having Lundberg Medical Imaging here with us today as our sponsor. Of course, we have a few chamber announcements that we have to begin with about all of our activities. We want to recognize our new members: Dermatology and Skin Surgery Clinic, R&D Roofing and Remodeling, Southern Concrete, Nutrition Zone, and American Freight. So welcome to the chamber to these new members. We have celebrated recently with two of our members who have new locations. We held a ribbon cutting at Home, the Inside Matters, located on South 3rd Street downtown. We're so happy to have them as a new member. And then Broadway Dental Care. They've moved to their brand new location in Midtown at 130 Lone Oak Road. So congratulations to both of those businesses. We have two ribbon cuttings coming up next week. Next Thursday on March 11th at 4:30 at RTS Sports. They opened up, yes, about a year ago. So technically, this is their 1-year anniversary, but we know what happened last March. So we owe them a great big celebration for their ribbon cutting and to welcome them. RTS Sports, located at 4645 Village Square Drive, Suite I, at 4:30 next Thursday. And then on Friday, March 12th, we'll be kind of around the corner at the 3521 James Sanders Boulevard at 10 a.m. for a ribbon cutting with American Freight. So please join us for these events. We're staying outside, masking up, and staying safely, so we hope to see you there. I also want to recognize just briefly Leadership Paducah Class 34. We're meeting again today, one more time virtually, and today is Transportation Day. So we'll be hearing from officials with the DOT, Maritime Administration, Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Berkeley Regional Airport, Riverport, and much more. We have many other events coming up for our business owners and entrepreneurs. We talk a lot about advocacy, and you'll hear about that later as our major focus, but being a resource for our businesses and entrepreneurs is something that is also very, very important to the Paducah Chamber. So we have some events coming up that we hope you'll join us for. On Wednesday, March 10th, we have a webinar with all about small business resources, and we want to introduce you to Aaron Harned. He is the Kentucky Small Business Development Center's new business coach. We are thrilled to once again have access to the Kentucky Small Business Development Center. We've been missing that for a while, and we're looking forward to meeting Aaron and hearing from him. Just to share a little bit about him, he is a Paducah native who joined the SBDC team in November of 2020. He serves as a business coach for 10 counties in western Kentucky, including, of course, McCracken County. He has a bachelor's degree from Western Kentucky University and grew up working in a family-owned business here in Paducah. Joining Aaron on this webinar will be Chris Wooldridge, who also is a great resource for us. He is the director of Murray State University Center for Economic and Entrepreneurial Development. The center offers consulting services at no cost for existing and startup businesses. So this is a great opportunity to hear about resources that are available to you as a small business owner or an entrepreneur from these two consultants, and most everything they offer is at no charge to you. We are also partnering on March 11th with the West Kentucky Workforce Board and Four Rivers SHRM to help businesses learn about how to start a summer work program or an internship program for college students. This webinar will help you answer the who, what, when, and why about how to do that. We are also, as the Paducah Chamber, compiling a list of local companies who are offering internships or summer work. So if you're interested in that, join the webinar so you can learn more about how to structure a program for summer workers with the college students, and let us know if you're going to hire them so that we can get that word to the schools. You can go to paducahchamber.org and click on Programs and Survey to take that. We need to know from you about what you plan to hire for this summer so that we can get that word to those college students. Internships are a key component for developing a robust workforce. We want our area students who are in college to come home this summer to work here. A few years ago, our chamber started our intern initiative in order to greet our area's summer interns to make sure that they were happy here, they were learning about our community, and we mingled them. We brought them in with activities that we were having with our Paducah young professionals. These students are investing time here in Paducah, and our local businesses are investing money in them by hiring them and employing them for the summer. So our long-term goal of the Paducah Chamber Intern Initiative is to build the community's future workforce. We also want to fill all of the open jobs in our community and grow our community, our population. So please take our survey, attend the webinar, let us know what you plan to do this summer, and that way we can get that word out to the college students. Speaking of the jobs of tomorrow, we have a program coming up on Tuesday, March 16th, where you can learn about Sprocket and Codify, two local innovation programs, during a webinar held jointly by the Chamber's Business Education Partnership and our Small Business Committee. This event is sponsored by the McCracken County Public Library, and we appreciate very much their support by sponsoring a program of our Business Education Partnership. We brought the Small Business Committee in with it because we wanted to provide the opportunity for people to hear more about those programs and also about Sprocket's Youth Coding League. That is something that they are offering as after-school enrichment programs with the library at many local schools in our community. So we want you to know much more about what's going on. You can register for all of those events and find out more at paducahchamber.org. So at this time, I also want to welcome our new Member Services Director. I'm going to bring her up. She'll stay masked up. This is our new Member Services Director, Molly Thompson. Molly started about a week ago, and she will be responsible for working with our chamber members with promotion and communications, planning and organizing some of our virtual events, and our soon-to-be back in-person events later this year. She will also work with the Paducah Young Professionals Program and other activities of the chamber. She's a Paducah native. She's someone that we're glad to have moved back to Paducah. She has a dual degree from the University of Kentucky in Community and Leadership Development and Integrated Strategic Communications, and is pursuing a Master of Public Administration at SEMO. So we're proud to welcome Molly to the Paducah Chamber. And at this time, I'm going to now introduce the 2021 Chair of the Chamber Board, Dr. Anton Reese, President of West Kentucky Community and Technical College, for more comments this morning. So welcome, Dr. Reese. Thank you, Molly.
Good morning, and thank you, Sandra. Congratulations, Molly. Sandra, I like the way that you beam when you mention my name and our college, so I want to thank you for that. Keep doing that, is all I ask. Good morning. I do bring greetings on behalf of our Board of Directors, thanking you for joining us this morning for our March PIP breakfast. I always try to seize these opportunities to also say hello to my team at West Kentucky Community Technical College. Shameless plug, but necessary plug. Our Regional Educators Award, 4th Regional Educators Award, will be virtual this year, next Thursday, March 11th at 6 p.m. So you can check us out on Facebook and certainly through YouTube as well. So at our last breakfast, we talked about the virtual Frankfurt Forum that was coming up on February 11th. I'm happy to say that we were able to successfully not only host that event on the day that we were hit with sleet and ice in the community, but we also had a great virtual crowd. And we're very appreciative of the fact that many of you took time to join us virtually, certainly more than we would have had if we were on that bus headed to Frankfurt on that day. A particular special thanks again to Bacon Farmer Workman as our presenting sponsors. Sponsorship is very important to what we do. So as you know, the Paducah Chamber strives to be the voice of business in our community. We are known for our advocacy work, which is a large focus of what we do on behalf of the business community on a local, state, and federal level. We dedicate significant amount of our time and resources on business advocacy. Small businesses make up the majority of the Chamber membership. The Chamber takes up challenges that an individual business owner may not be able to tackle alone, but by working together and engaging others, many more important accomplishments can be completed. And yes, small business is big business. Today is day 23 of the 30-day 2021 legislative session, and several of the Paducah Chamber key priorities are still needing a push from you with our local legislators. Early on, the Paducah Chamber identified 4 top priorities for this session of the General Assembly. The first is the infrastructure funding House Bill 561 that was filed last week. So we're asking our legislators to pass HB 561 and prioritize investment in Kentucky's transportation. Investing in infrastructure is an investment in our economy, the future of tourism, and the safety of our citizens. If we do nothing, the amount of money needed for roads and bridges will keep increasing, traffic will get worse, and our roads will continue to decline in safety. Our own Representative Randy Bridges and Representative Richard Heath have signed as co-sponsors. This bill will bring us much-needed transportation funding to maintain and build roads and bridges, increase funding available for city and county roads, establish a fee for electric vehicles to keep up with the changes in technology, and create a multimodal fund that will assist riverports, railways, and aviation. All of Kentucky's surrounding states have prioritized investment in transportation, so the time for Kentucky to act is now. The Paycheck Protection Program federal conformity bill was added to our priorities last week. The Paducah Chamber issued a statement in support of House Bill 278. This bill allows small businesses and self-employed individuals in Kentucky who have received a forgivable PPP loan to deduct expenses paid with the loan. It is now in the Senate, and the Senate is expected to take this bill and vote for a final passage very quickly. Note that HB 278 has an emergency clause which would make legislation effective immediately upon the governor's signature and will be effective before March and April tax deadlines. So we believe that this is very important to our small businesses, and again, we seek your support. The unemployment insurance tax relief, the House also passed House Bill 413. This bill provides unemployment insurance tax relief for a business community that is already overly burdened and struggling due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The legal liability protection for COVID-19, Senate Bill 5, passed the Senate this week and is now headed to the House, where we are unsure of its future. This bill protects businesses, schools, and healthcare providers from frivolous lawsuits related to the pandemic. The bill has broad support across industries in the Commonwealth, including from the Paducah Chamber and the Kentucky Chamber. The Paducah Chamber strongly supports these bills, but your voice also needs to be heard in a variety of ways. It's really quite simple. Consider an email, call, or text to your representative or senator to encourage them to support these bills, HB 561, 278, 413, and Senate Bill 5. You can find the email addresses of our local legislators, Senator Danny Carroll, Representative Randy Bridges, Representative Stephen Rudy, Representative Chris Freeland, and Representative Richard Heath, and the phone number for the legislative message line on the screen now, or you can also get this information in our e-news issued on Monday. Thanks again for your assistance. Now I would like to introduce one of the 2021 co-chairs of the Paducah Young Professionals, Rhiannon Jenkins. The PIP is an important program of the Chamber, and we want to share some information about it today. Rhiannon is a Treasury Management and Payment Consultant with U.S. Bank and is a graduate of the University of Kentucky. She is a member of the Paducah Professional Women, serves on the Leadership Paducah Alumni Association Board, the U.S. Bank West Kentucky Development Network Board, and is a United Way Reading Pal. Rhiannon?
Thank you, Dr. Reese. I want to begin with a few questions aimed at the 21 to 40 age group. Do you want to interact socially with people who have similar interests and goals? Do you want to develop contacts with successful business women and men? Do you want to give back to the community by participating in and volunteering at local events? If so, PYP could be the answer for you. And now let me ask a question of the employers watching today. Do you want your young professionals to be happy here, to be engaged, and to continue to grow and succeed? If so, then Paducah Young Professionals could also be the fit for you. PYP was established to provide social and professional opportunities for emerging leaders ages 21 to 40. The goal of PYP is to connect, engage, and develop our community's current network of young professionals and entice others to locate to the community. We want to thank Hall & Stivers Employer Solutions as the presenting sponsor for the PYP and Arnold Realty Group as our digital sponsor for 2021. PYP is such a great way to network with like-minded people in our community and provides young professionals with a plethora of opportunities for professional and personal growth. Young professionals are the future of the business community, and we want to share the skills and enthusiasm that this group brings with our community. With each event, we strive to bring our members a way to connect with people that they may never encounter in their regular day-to-day activities and experience all the great things that our community has to offer. And of course, we like to have a little fun along the way. With each event, we strive to give our members, PYP has greatly contributed to my personal network of friends and colleagues that I now have. I've grown meaningful relationships with our fellow PYP members through our events such as the Network at Night, our CEO Roundtable, and our annual Cornhole Tournament. And while many of our events right now are virtual events, the steering committee is striving to keep everyone engaged and provide programming on a variety of areas and topics of interest. Our next event will be on March 23rd. Katie Englert of Compass Counseling will be joining us. She is a young professional in the Chamber's 2020 Entrepreneur of the Year. She will be speaking on the topic of March Madness in a virtual webinar called How to Rebound Your Sanity and Focus Your Shot. Join us at noon on March 23rd to hear Katie share advice on preparing for game time, taking timeouts, and getting it through the hoop. We've used basketball lingo here, but it's really about your life. You can register for the event at paducahchamber.org. Finally, we are excited to have Molly Thompson assisting with the PYP program. As you've already heard, she is a young professional who has moved back home, back to Paducah, and we hope that she sets the example for others to do the same. Thank you. Dr. Reese?
Thank you, Rhiannon. It is now my pleasure to introduce our March Power in Partnership Breakfast sponsor, Lundberg Medical Imaging. Please welcome CEO Terry Lundberg. Terry.
Thank you, Dr. Reese. Good morning, everyone. About a year ago, Lundberg Medical Imaging was the last sponsor for our in-person Power and Partnership Breakfast. So I really thought it would be appropriate that we would be the first sponsor for our in-person Power and Partnership Breakfast. But as you can see, didn't get very far with Sandra. We're close, but we're not quite there yet. Lundberg Medical Imaging is located at 2421 Broadway. And from the outside, it's pretty unassuming. We look like another business on Broadway. But once you step inside our doors, your world is transformed. We want to welcome you into an environment that's a beautiful living room, relaxing atmosphere kind of feel. I asked myself, what can we do to help our patients feel less stressed, less anxiety, because they don't ask to be sick. So what we did was we transformed the inside of our building to be very welcoming and private and professional. So that helps lower the stress level of our patients. So this last year, during our COVID pandemic, we did welcome a new physician to our practice, Dr. Rob Garneau. And he has actually been such a welcome addition because our practice is growing and we're continuing to expand our reach in the region. So Dr. Garneau really allows us to put out more radiology reports and gives my husband the much needed break and as we are able to grow our practice. So I also wanted to focus on our partnerships. We partner with our local hospitals. We have a very seamless transition for transition to care. So with through both hospitals, we have great partnerships. And what we can do is we can offer those radiology services and then transition care to our local providers to help them figure out what's going wrong with the patient. We also have a wonderful partnership with WKCTC. We rotate both the ultrasound and the x-ray students through our practice to help them get hands-on experience in those modalities and then transition those into the workforce. So here's where the leadership message comes today as I try to reach out to our local businesses and leaders in our community that are watching today. You wonder, how can a small business in healthcare of all places survive during a pandemic? And I want to share with you our secret. Our secret is our mission. It's to deliver high-quality, affordable radiology imaging services with patient-centered compassion, professionalism, and expediency. Now, to most of you, that's just a bunch of white letters on a screen. But to us, we embrace these words very dearly to our hearts. And I want to drill down with you, one at a time, each one of those adjectives in our mission statement. First of all, high quality. We very much are focused on high quality. You might not know this, but Lundberg Medical Imaging was the first in our area to be MQSA certified in mammography. What that means are we meet very strict standards in both equipment and imaging services that we offer. We were number 8 in the nation to adopt American College of Radiology accreditation in CT and number 43 in MRI. Now that's out of thousands of people across the nation. We are early adopters of accreditation for imaging excellence. That doesn't happen by accident. The next thing I want to ask you to look at is our affordability. We don't treat cancer, we're not open 24/7, and we don't have a cafeteria. What we do is we live, eat, sleep, breathe radiology excellence. That's all we do, Monday through Friday, 7 to 5. And that's how we can offer affordable services to our people in our community that work so hard. We want you guys to keep more money in your pockets to put groceries on your table and clothe your family. That is definitely a very vital part of our mission statement and why we get out of bed every day. The next thing I'd like to focus on is our patient-centered compassion. We take this very seriously as well. About a month ago, we had a 94-year-old making her way out to her car, and just a few feet before she got into her car, she stumbled, and she had a very tragic fall. Now, my staff was locking the door, thank goodness, and saw her go down and was at her side in seconds. But when I found out her closest relative was many states away, a daughter in her 70s, there was no question in my mind I was going to spend the evening in the ER with that woman. How could I just put her in an ambulance and watch her go with no loved one at her side? Patient-centered compassion is definitely part of our mission statement, and it makes the choice so easy when it comes down to decisions that we have to make. Professionalism. When was the last time you called a doctor's office and didn't have to press a number to talk to somebody? And then you ended up having to leave a voicemail. We answer the phone with a real person. The other thing we do that's different, that signifies professionalism, is you get a cloth sheet, a real pillowcase, and you get to be wrapped in a cloth gown or cape. I don't know about you, but I don't like to be wrapped in paper like a Reuben sandwich. So we really try to make that more comfortable by bringing you real fabric when you're in our care for those services. And finally, expediency. We care about your time. I am very focused on time efficiency, and we bring that to our practice. You can get out of your car, have a mammogram, and get back in your car in under 30 minutes with results. 98.6% of the time, our patients are seen at or before their appointment time. It's because we care about being very efficient with your time. So how does that happen? This is where the real message is for you leaders out there watching. It happens with poster board and Post-its. What we do is we take each one of those mission statements, and what we do is we assign a behavior. Do those behaviors contribute to those things that we're trying to uphold? The affordability, the professionalism. By taking the behavior to uphold our mission statement, it makes decision-making crystal clear. Does that behavior support our mission? And if it does, we are able to continue to offer that high-quality service. I'd like to share a very interesting number with you. This didn't happen by accident. 3,033 patients. That's how many brand new patients we saw in the last year alone. I'd like you to keep in mind that's really 10 months worth of imaging in 2 months where we were mostly shut down, except to urgent care. Over 3,000 patients that have never been through our front door. I'd like to suggest to you that we are very much on mission for our region. And the fact that we're able to serve over 3,000 patients in about 10 months, normal months worth of work, that gives us a reason to get out of bed every day, and that gives us a reason to offer imaging excellence. And I'd like to finish with this picture that hangs in my office I want to share with you today. This was taken about 10 years ago. We live on a farm, and pretty far hike from our house is this big open field. And for the last 25 years, sometime in March, there are acres wide of blooming daffodils sometime in March. So as I was hiking over that field, beneath my feet, I was thinking to myself, beneath my feet are emerging promises. Waiting to sprout like every other year before is something magical about to happen. So I'm thinking it is so relevant right now. With our decreasing positivity rate, our increased access to vaccines, our warmer weather, we have emerging promises coming just around the corner for a more open economy and us getting to be back together again, and our chamber being able to have real in-person breakfasts again. We have emerging promises. I'd also like to let you know that our promise to you that Lundberg Medical Imaging will continue to embrace our mission statement and offer you imaging excellence. And with that, I would like to introduce our speaker today. We're pleased to have Matt Tackett. He's president and CEO of the Kentucky Association for Economic Development as our featured speaker. By reimagining the KED framework, Matt is taking the association through some exciting changes by crediting a collaborative and strategic platform to accelerate economic development in the Commonwealth. That is something we can all get behind. Before his role as president and CEO, Matt served as executive director of the Kentucky Gas Association, where he created a robust membership service portfolio which included legislative affairs, workforce development initiatives, and legal services. He's served in the federal grant programs. The Office of the Governor of Kentucky is the owner of a dynamic consulting firm which is focused on economic advocacy and governmental affairs. He holds a master's degree in public administration and is a native of Prestonburg. Please join me in welcoming Matt Tackett.
Well, thank you. Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, Paducah. It's always a beautiful day in Paducah, certainly Western Kentucky, and it certainly is today. It's definitely a Chamber of Commerce day outside. So thank you for that warm introduction. Sorry you had to read that bio, which is longer than I would like, but I appreciate that. I want to give some shout outs really quickly. Congratulations, Molly. What a fantastic opportunity you've walked into, one of the best chambers in the nation. So congratulations, welcome. We're certainly looking forward to working with you. We know the members here will continue to be well served by the fantastic staff here. I want to thank our sponsor, Lundberg Medical. Investment in growth organizations, especially now, is critical. So thank you for what you do for the chamber, and thank you for what you do for this Commonwealth. Just as I was waiting to come up to the stage, I was taken aback by the professionalism and the sophistication here of the production team. So for those that haven't been on site, you wouldn't believe it. This is very much live TV right here in Paducah. So thank you to the production team. Thank you to the staff. What an incredible example of a pivot to disseminate critical information that's on display right here from the Paducah Chamber. So thank you for what you do. Thank you to the production team. Thank you, Dr. Reese, for your servant leadership to the Chamber. Thank you for all that you do. And thank you to the Chamber. As we all collectively seek to mitigate, emerge, and thrive post-COVID, we have such an incredible example of leadership and economy right here in Paducah. And no doubt it's led by an incredible staff team. Again, world-class, one of the best in the nation. So thank you. Thank you for safeguarding this community. Thank you for creating jobs. And thank you for protecting families here in the Commonwealth. So With that said, here's why I am here today. So I want to briefly introduce KAED to this audience. This is certainly quite an honor for me professionally and certainly personally as a young man from the eastern part of the state. It's great to be here, quite an honor. I want to quickly discuss COVID disruption. I want to discuss the KAED mitigation and emergence strategy from COVID, and I want to make a special announcement. I also want to just advise that this PowerPoint was created at midnight last night after a wonderful time at Freight House with our friends at Paducah Economic Development. So please overlook any errors that you may find. If you do, let me know. There'll be bonus points. So first off, let's quickly move through this just so I can share, my board will be happy with you, what KAED is. So we are the Commonwealth's Association for Stakeholders dedicated to the creation and acceleration of prosperity. We have 500 plus members. Those consist of economic development organizations, chambers of commerce, state agencies, local governments, utilities, universities, ads, SBDCs, professional services, and much more. Our mission is to enhance professional capacity to accelerate economic development. Certainly a simple mission statement, but how powerful. We are governed by a 13-member board of directors, which are represented from professionals all across our great Commonwealth, and our strategies are executed by 9 standing committees: Kentucky United, Public Policy, Membership, Education, Ambassadors, Finance, Partnership, and new this year, we're incredibly proud, incredibly eager to get to work to address opportunities around diversity and inclusion. So, what does KAED do? Well, we are not unlike any other professional association. We all seek to educate, advocate, and collaborate in some capacity. I think what makes KAED special as an association is we are very and directly involved in the practice of the profession of which we represent. For example, what I mean by that is when I was with the Kentucky Gas Association, we weren't selling natural gas. We were educating, advocating, and collaborating in some sort of way. Well, what makes KAED special, fun, and impactful is that we're directly involved in the practice of economic development, and I'll talk about that. So, what we do around education, we house the state's economic development professional education programs anchored by the Kentucky Institute for Economic Development, which is an IEDC certified program, and then followed up with the Kentucky Certified Professional Economic Developer program. We certainly are try to play our part in terms of advocacy. We know this chamber is very strong. We are happy to support you in House Bill 561. That is critical to modernize our transportation, to address issues, and to keep up with competitors. We are aligned in the other issues that were mentioned here as well today. A bill that we are forwarding, that there's great movement right now, is HB 372. It is our attempt to create major technology investment in this Commonwealth. Would be an incredibly meaningful bill, House Bill 372. We would appreciate the great support from Western Kentucky. And we seek to collaborate as well. We convene leaders around strategic verticals like talent, innovation, product, marketing, exporting, and we certainly play our part, as do other associations, in the collaborative space with networking and access to policymakers and business decision makers. How we are involved in the practice of economic development? Kentucky United is a domestic and global marketing program within KAED where we'll go all across the country or all across the world telling decision makers why they need to do business in the Commonwealth. We have a site and community analysis program to enhance preparation, to enhance strategic programming and planning in this Commonwealth. We have a capital project grant making program to provide corporations with quick, risk-free site selection experiences in this state. We are very serious about that. That program is anchored by our utilities, and we're serious about data equity and providing meaningful, impactful data to inform approach across this state. So we believe we have a very holistic model to forward economic development in the Commonwealth. Now, there's no doubt that COVID has been a massive global challenge with consequence right here in Kentucky. We know that, and we also know there's no doubt that COVID has brought about new opportunities. So what we seek to do is address this COVID disruption and capitalize on new opportunities, and I'll speak a little bit about that in just a moment. But what we know without a doubt is that COVID has definitely enhanced the importance of economic development organizations and economic development chambers, of which you have 2 world-class examples right here in Paducah. We know that COVID has enhanced the importance of business retention and expansion and supply chain management. In a normal year, 80% of new investment comes from existing industry. COVID has made BR&E even more critical. And we know that COVID has enhanced the importance of strategic planning for enterprise and economic development. And because Kentucky has so much intrinsic advantage and good leadership, I believe we are well positioned to move beyond COVID successfully. And the good news is that, we can go back, is that projects continue to move, economic development projects, within Kentucky's target markets. And I wanted to have this slide up just in case those aren't familiar with where Kentucky performs strong, where our current target strategies lie. So you can see this slide: aerospace and defense, life sciences, automotive, food and beverage, chemical, and distribution and logistics. We know Kentucky can succeed because we have demonstrated our ability to provide key and global industries with a world-class economic opportunity in this state. You can see top sectors by numbers, very impressive performance within those key markets, and you can also see what a global brand, how global industry recognizes Kentucky as a fantastic place to do business. We will continue to leverage that daily and expect success internationally. So, to perpetuate that growth and to address opportunities brought from COVID that we mentioned, we at KAD have launched what we call the Kentucky Economic Recovery and Resilience Project. So the goal of the Kentucky Economic Recovery and Resilience Project is to provide business professionals and civic leaders with tools and know-how to support their entire existing business community, to retain existing jobs, and to identify new markets, both in response to COVID as well as to catalyze growth during recovery and post-pandemic periods. This is about data equity for us, and we have basically two services that we provide. Services to economic developers, which I'll touch on just briefly, and services to business leaders, which I want to dive in and make a special announcement. First, for economic developers, what we do is provide strategic data to inform the practice of business retention and expansion and also business attraction. Our economic developers and members know how to access that data. It's a significant advantage for our members and for our Commonwealth. And the second key piece is to provide a free dashboard to better communicate, not communicated, and service existing industry and inform growth. That's for economic developers. Here's what's for enterprise, for small business. We have a platform to provide free market analytic and business intelligence data to businesses in the Commonwealth. And what I want to announce and share with you in just a bit of depth today is because of a great partnership with KAD and because of this chamber and the fantastic leadership, we are able today to share with you that we've provided Size Up Kentucky, a market analytic business intelligence tool to every business in Paducah. And I'll tell you what it does and how to access that. And I want to thank the great team at the University of Kentucky for making this available, the board at KAD for making this available, and the chamber for allowing this service to come to businesses in Paducah. So, what Size Up Kentucky provides is large-scale data that has only been available for the most part for large industry. This is now available for small business. Millions of data customized to your business, to your industry, to right here in Paducah. So I want to give you examples of what this does. If we can go back to the PowerPoint real quick. So you can, through Size Up Kentucky, you can access this at sizeupkentucky.com, sizeupkentucky.com. You can compare your business performance to industry competitors across multiple performance indicators. You can answer, as long as you know basically what your industry is, what your revenue is, you can access all of this data. So you can ask our platform questions like, do I make more money than my competitors? These are screenshots taken directly from the tool outside of Kentucky, but you can ask it, do I make more money? Simple question. You can ask, where are businesses like mine doing better or worse than me? You can ask, am I paying my employees more or less than my competitors? You can ask, is your business in a growing or declining industry? And there are a ton of other comparative metrics to which you can access. This is a screen grab. Revenue, year started, salary, employees, cost effectiveness, revenue per capita, local turnover. You can compare what your turnover looks like compared to competitors or other businesses in your community. You can look at your healthcare costs, compare that, and also your workers' compensation costs. Now, there's a ton of comparative advantage and competitive data for which you can leverage within Size Up Kentucky. Here's what I like about this tool. You can use the tool to find new customers, find existing suppliers, new suppliers, and you can find where your competitors are and how they are doing. So, with that, you can identify best places to advertise based on customer base or customer demographic. If you know your customer, you can use this tool to find out where your customer is. The Size Up people will tell you that needs to tell you where you need to advertise, which is certainly true. This can also tell you where you would have a good experience if you chose to expand. You can do that with the Size Up Kentucky tool. And these are all of the examples I believe that I have. I just want you to know that you can access this at sizeupkentucky.com. I want to thank the Chamber for making this opportunity today available for all of the small and medium-sized businesses or large businesses here in Paducah. Very easy to use. It's charts, maps, and graphs. And if you need any further information on this, please feel free to reach out to us at KAED at any time or our great partners at CEDIC at the University of Kentucky, who have taken an incredible leadership role in this program. So with that, I hope I didn't go over, team. Hello, Paducah. Thank you for having us, and thank you for all that you do.
I was trying to get that website one more time, Matt, for Size Up Kentucky. sizeupkentucky.com. And we'll have that on our Facebook page later today and tomorrow and be pushing that out. So that's a great resource. We are familiar with that, and it's a great resource for businesses to use to gain more information about themselves and how they can better invest in themselves and in their advertising, and also learn more about their competitors. So thank you, Matt, for being with us today. We appreciate you traveling in, spending the night in Paducah, spending some of your money here with us in this community and bringing a little bit of tourism, I would say, commerce to us. So thank you so much for that. We want to thank Lundberg Medical Imaging as our sponsor today. Thank you for the beautiful flowers. Those added a lot to us. They're kind of making me nervous. I'm so scared I'm going to knock them over. So thank you, Terry, for that. We do have door prizes provided by Lundberg Medical Imaging. So I'm going to ask Terry if she would come up and we'll do just a quick drawing. I think we have 3. And I know you're going to tell me where they're from.
Okay, the first one goes to Jan Keene. So Jan, you are going to get to go shopping at Hollyhock House in downtown Paducah. And if you've never been there, that is a really fantastic, cute little store with all kinds of fun things to do. So Jan,
all right. I'm going to let you get closer to the mic. Okay. So that one went to Jan King from Hollyhock.
Thank you. The second one, also going downtown, is to Manly Daniels. And if you want a fantastic haircut, Catherine Byers, you might want to share that gift card to Manly Daniels in downtown Paducah. Great haircut, fantastic place to go visit. And our third one is a little bit further out, over near New Holt Road and South Friendship, Paducah Olive Company. And if you haven't been there recently, you are missing a lot. So Paducah Olive Company, that gift card goes to John Anderson. So you can pick up those prizes at our office at 2421 Broadway. And if that's inconvenient for you, just give us a call, answered by a real person. I'll mail those out to you.
All right. Thank you. And Terry, thank you for highlighting 3 Paducah Chamber members. So we're so happy to have those from Manly Daniels, Hollyhock House, and Paducah Olive Oil. So thank you very much for that. Thank you for your sponsorship. We want to say we have mentioned a couple of times soon to be back in-person events. We're hoping we will be able to do that this summer. You know, there's been the announcement this week about everyone being vaccinated by the end of May for those that are willing to do that, to take that vaccine. So if that's the case, we hope to be back in person by July. We do have July 15th on hold as our annual meeting, so put that on your calendar as a save the date for July 15th. We're hoping that will work. We're looking into it and working out plans on how we can try to make that happen. Meanwhile, we'll be back here virtually April 1st. No fooling on that. Dr. Reese, we won't have any jokes that day. That will be our next virtual breakfast, sponsored by West Kentucky Community and Technical College as our sponsor. So we appreciate that. The featured speaker is Dr. Aaron Thompson, president of the Kentucky Council on Post-Secondary Education, and also a good friend of Dr. Reese's. So thank you for joining us today. We're so appreciative of the continued support that we've received in the community for the Paducah Chamber. We support you, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you for joining us.